Welcome to part 11 of the mini golf marble machine build. In this video, I'm going to build a small red cottage to be placed on the second hole of the red themed track. All of the tracks have been assigned a color, and the main features on that track will match that color. I start by figuring out how big to make the cottage by making the front face. I took a piece of wood, marked it up, and cut it out. The marbles that go through the middle track will roll right through the cottage, so there's an opening for that to happen. I was quite happy with the size and shape of the first piece I cut out, so I moved on to the back piece. The roofline will be level with the ground while the track is sloped, so the back piece is shorter than the front piece. I figured out how far apart to make the two pieces, then I used an L-shaped piece to connect them. The L bracket helps join them exactly as desired. The sidewalls are uniquely shaped, so I used the existing pieces to custom mark for a perfect fit. Once those were glued in, I put in pieces to prevent the marbles from getting stuck on the outbound door frame. Here's a point of view look from the back door to the front door. The next part is the roof. The surface of the roof is curved, so in order to create a backing that matched the curve, I used popsicle sticks. I cut a piece to fit the space, and then repeated the process until the roof was filled. Next, I built the side room. I cut the walls to fit and made the back wall at an angle to allow the marbles on that side track to roll around it. Then, I filled in the backing on the roof for this part. Now is the time for the painstaking process of putting on the shingles. I cut small, thin pieces of wood into even smaller pieces to use as tiny shingles. Similar to how you would do a roof on a house, I started at the bottom and worked my way to the top. I wanted it to look sort of cartoony with misaligned and chaotic shingles. The first side was relatively easy to do because of the simple surface. The other side was quite tricky because of all the different directions on the roof. But, one by one, I was able to find a way to make it work while still making it look as chaotic as the other side. Now it was time to put the ridges on the roof. I sanded down a few pieces to make the top level. I put on the top ridge and then added a few more shingles to fill in a small gap. After putting the side ridge on, I put a small molding frame around the front opening. It was finally time for painting. Since there were so many crevices, especially on the inside, I opted to spray the base coat. The inside of the cottage will stay this shade of white. I decided the roof to be the part that exactly matches the theme of the track, so I went ahead and painted that to match. For the walls, I wanted a slightly lighter shade of red that still matched the same family, so I decided to mix it myself. Using an empty paint bottle, I added red and white to mix into a new color. I realized it was way too pink, so I added more red. And even after a third try, it was still too pink, so I started over again. This time, I didn't overload on white and made a much better color. The trim around the doorway was painted the same color as the roof. When I found the right spot for the cottage, I marked its place with tape and glued it in. I then added a final barrier to the unfinished side. And that's it for this video. The cottage is in place and works just as planned. In the next video, I'll be working on a large section of the rockwork using classic model making techniques.